Frick yes, it's my favorite time. It's time to laugh at some toxicity. My favorite hobby, the greatest pastime on the internet, and unfortunately something that a lot of people don't partake in. People are so busy getting pissed off about toxicity, they can't just sit back and laugh at it. And that's what we're doing today. To the most toxic anime fan alive, Yandere Dev. Yes, this is gonna be a different angle than literally everyone else that ever talked about Yandere Dev in the history of YouTube ever, because while massive videos on the matter, like Kappa Kaiju or The Right Opinion's trying to get a proper timeline of unbiased events over the last 6 years, and Kappa Kaiju's talking about why he doesn't think the game that Yandere Dev promised to finish will ever be finished. Today, we're taking a slightly different look at everything. In my personal opinion, a far much more enjoyable one. Today, we're laughing at the toxicity of this man, and I know this will probably result in me getting into beef with the lad, but that sucks for him. This is going to be a very important video tackling many different topics in general that branch out, stemming from this one man. And if you don't know who he is, that's totally fine, because by the halfway point of this video, you'll be rolling in laughter by the sheer toxicity generated from this absolute mad lad, or rather madman in this case. I don't know. To back things up a wee bit, there was this game, Yandere Simulator, that came out like 5.5 years ago, and as we know, the lovely anime trope of yanderes, which I still can't exactly understand how they managed to blossom into such a fruitful archetype, is where there's a main character dude. Main whammon loves main character dude, and she loves him so much she'll kill out every other potential love interest ever because she's the only one for him. Yeah, it's a pretty wacky trope, pretty weird. Some people are attracted to that kind of thing, I don't know. On the Barney Stinson hot to crazy scale, I think that's tipping a little to the crazy. And yes, I would love to go ahead and meme about how wholesome and nice, how calm and collected a yandere girlfriend actually would be. Wouldn't you love someone to actually love you and appreciate you to the extent that they'll go around murdering other innocent people that also happen to have a crush on you unbeknownst to them? Yeah, that's what I like to call a mentally stable woman. Frick yes. So Yandere Simulator is a goofy game that came out that when you're looking at it, it potentially has like 4 billion levels of irony. It's a story about how you are the yandere girlfriend and you go around brutally murdering other potential love interests of this high school kid. That's right. You're essentially a psychopath serial killer throwing people's heads in blenders and throwing people off roofs and decapitating and disemboweling people and all that other lovely stuff that when you look at that, it just screams, damn, whoever developed this game, yeah, their head is screwed on the right way. But being that it was such a funny meme style game making fun of the entire trope of yanderes, the ironic humor was definitely present. And since it's such an out there type indie game, all the big YouTubers played it. Schnarkiplier, Jack Schneptikai, and Schmelix Schmelberg, if that's even his real name. And once the big three holy trinity of anime gamers played this game, obviously popularity went through the roof. Yandere Simulator became the next big thing. Everyone was talking about it. It was a lot of fun. There are entire YouTube channels dedicated just to playing weird versions of Yandere Simulator. That's how big this game got. It raked in millions of views, and the hype wasn't stopping there because Yandere Dev, the developer of Yandere Simulator, the unfortunate target of this episode's laughing at toxicity, him and that entire fan base he's collected. He was the hot topic and he said, fam, I'm gonna full-time go into developing the full version of Yandere Simulator. All you saw was some crappy, dusty old demo. I am going to create the greatest game of all time. To which people were like, bruh, that's amazing. He opened up a Patreon. He got like $5,000 a month donated to him on Patreon so he could work on this game full time. And everything seemed to be hunky-dory. The world was excited for the full version of the game. And they were supporting this developer who no one knew anything about just because he released Yandere Simulator. It's not like someone who would release a game like that's actually a psychopath and not just an ironic memer, right? Right? I'll let you make your own decision on that as we get further in this video. The story kept getting scarier and scarier as this absolute mad lad or madman, again, I'll let you decide, just wasn't freaking completing the game. Right now, it's a third way through 2020, 6 years after the game dropped, and still we have no full version. Still we have no actual sign of progress towards the full version. All we have are these thinly veiled words and updates to base the fact off that, yeah, he's actually working on the full version and didn't just, swindle $60,000 a year for the last 5 years. Don't quote me on that exact sum. In fact, don't quote anything I say in this video. I'm just here to laugh at some toxicity. This isn't some big exposed video or anything. I'm just here for the memes, and you should be as well. Definitely subscribe for memes and, laughing at different toxic enclaves of the internet because it's the most fun thing to do, and no one else does it. I love when game developers have a personality. Like, Toby Fox just being a goofball makes the whole Undertale experience so much more fun. And speaking of, it took him like 2 years to make Undertale as a one-man job. Yandere Dev, he's working on 6 years, and he already has a bunch of people working with him. But of course, he was hesitant to hire them before because they would tarnish his baby. And it's very unclear if he's actually paying them anything at all or if they're all volunteers. But all that aside, 6 years later, this mad lad, or madman, I'll let you decide, still has this crazy tight-knit group of fans that are supporting him, watching his videos, leaving likes on his videos, and attacking other people on his behalf. Now, what actually makes me smile and laugh about this whole situation is the constant and consistent flow of monetized updates to his actual game. The persona he's developing for himself is the most posh, douchey, holier-than-thou personality of all time. And I love it, but purely because it's not earned at all. So it's hilarious as heck to laugh at. I mean, I like Escanor from the 7 Deadly Sins, the sin of pride, this mad lad, not a madman, that hits us with the lines, "Who decided that?" I wouldn't hate anyone weaker than me, I merely pity them. It's like the most condescending words on the planet, but since he can back it up, it just becomes so badass. Imagine hearing all these epic phrases and epic words being thrown about by a guy who, I can't say for certain, but was swindling money from his fan base for the last 6 years. Potentially. Hearing that guy say it, I don't know, it doesn't have the same power. It's humorous instead of badass. A lot of people were getting upset by all this stuff. I wonder why. There was this one update video that he released at one point saying that the reason why the game is not actually done yet is because he has to sort through his emails every single day and read every single email. And since his fan base is so toxic, they send him so many emails, it takes him 8 to 12 hours a day, I'm not exaggerating, to read his emails.
Sometimes I spend between 8 and 12 hours going through my email.
Bruh, I don't care how many emails you get. It doesn't take you 8 to 12 hours a day to read through your emails. You could A, hire an agent, or get one of your volunteers to look through your emails. B, that just doesn't make any sense. It's the stupidest cop-out excuse I've ever heard. The old "my dog ate my homework" excuse? You should have gone with something like that. "Oh, my dog accidentally ate my computer. I lost all the progress I've made." I would genuinely believe something like that more than it takes you 12 hours a day to read emails. You have double my subs, but I don't even spend an hour a day on email. That's one. Two, if you make a video saying you read every email and then decide not to respond to it, but you're very thorough about all of it, that's just gonna get you like a billion more emails. The whole mindset behind the consistent and constant terrible excuses as to what's taking so long to complete his game is mind-boggling. And I say that in a humorous way because the fact that the core fan base is like, "Oh, bro, man, oh my god, this Messiah freaking reads emails for 12 hours a day. How could we possibly view this in a negative light? He's working so hard." That was at a point in his career where he wasn't willing to accept help from any other companies or any other individuals. There weren't any emails he was receiving that he needed to read. Hey, that's what he's claiming though. And I'm not saying we should assume he's lying. It's not like this man would ever lie to us. It's just funny. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying he's lying or he's wrong. Or maybe he was right to read 12 hours of emails a day. That's up for, you to decide. That's 12 hours a day. People paying him $5,000 a month on Patreon to work on his game. And his full-time job is reading emails. It kind of sounds a little weird, but you know what? I am not here to judge. I am here to laugh. And me, that is my purpose. And that is why that is what I will do. The funniest thing, though, is even though he has this tight-knit group of actual fans that are supporting him, you should see the way he talks to them. That's just special on a whole other level. This man is a Discord server, bunch of people in there. I'm not telling you to try to get in, please. I repeat, please. I know you're all amazing, toxic, sometimes memers, okay? Please do not invade Yandere Dev's Discord server. I fear for his mental health, honestly. And I'll get to that. But, you know, when you see some leaked messages from in there, oh my god, it doesn't exactly paint him in the most appealing light. He blocks and bans people willy-nilly. When people direct message him, if it's not direct praise, that guy is toast. Someone messaged him, hey, do you have Ligma? Immediately blocked. And my favorite thing is the way he answers criticisms with allegories. Every single time someone says something that could be genuinely considered as constructive criticism, his answer is always, well, why don't you conduct a thought experiment for yourself? Picture yourself as someone that created an amazing game. Now, obviously, since you created the amazing game all by yourself, there would be bugs that you are aware of. When someone goes to bring up these bugs that you're well aware of to you, the creator of the amazing game, do you not feel like the world would be better off if that person was dead? Now, obviously, this is not a direct quote, okay? Please, for the love of God, don't overdo this. But I am memeing as to something he would say. If you read through his Discord messages, and you can literally look up Yandere Dev messages on Google Images, and you'll get tons upon tons of these really cringy stuff he said. And he has definitely said to fans to please kill themselves in the past. He said so on stream. If you look up on YouTube, Yandere Dev tells fan to kill himself, you'll be hit with like 1,000 search results for that.
You're a fucking retard, sold out. Go fucking kill yourself, dumb shit.
But the greatest thing is, in the past 6 years of quote-unquote development, this absolute mad lad, or madman, I'll let you decide, has never actually owned up to a single mistake he's done. Now, whether you want to say, on the technical side, he poured every single moment of his waking life into Yandere Simulator, like he claims he did. I mean, at one point, he threatened fans to shut down his Patreon, saying that, right now, you're paying me $5,000 a month, but if you keep sending me emails, maybe I'll have to shut down my Patreon. It's hard to live a life like mine, you know, pouring every waking hour into Yandere Simulator to make the best game of all time. It's not easy. Maybe I should shut down my Patreon, and then, since I'm not morally obligated to work on it full time, I could just treat it like a hobby. I could work on it on my spare time. I could actually play video games and watch anime again. But I won't do that because I already spent so much time working on it full time. I will continue with my blood, sweat, and tears. And also so he could yoink your money. But the point is, through all of this, and yeah, his every waking moment spent, you know, reading emails and working on the game, absolute fact. I doubt he even takes coffee breaks, this absolute mad lad. Or madman. But he still thinks he's on his high horse where he's done nothing wrong at all times. Now, again, not questioning him on his work ethic. I'm sure this individual hasn't stopped working since the moment he popped out of his mother's womb. But the condescending tones are so humorous when you hear what he actually says in not scripted videos, like, you know, telling fans to kill themselves, which, I mean, pretty unjustifiable, not gonna lie. Or his absolute big brain, 5,000 IQ, four-dimensional chess moments where in his Discord server, people just started getting banned and they couldn't figure out why. And then when he explains, of course he explains in the most condescending tone ever, I think you do have an idea as to why you were banned. I don't think you should be unbanned if I'm actually right. Why, you ask? He always does the why you ask also, which is the funniest thing of all time. I love it. It's so condescending trash. Why, you ask? Let me give you a hypothetical situation. Let's say, for example, I observe that every single person who hates Yandere Simulator puts a rabbit icon at the end of their username. It's their way of secretly signaling to each other. So everyone with a rabbit icon gets banned. Boom! Facts and logic right there. And no, that one wasn't hyperbole or me just making up things he would say. He literally says that. It's the funniest thing of all time. It's like, Pickle Rick, hold your beer for a second. This man bans everyone with a rabbit icon because it's some secret underground society that hate on Yandere Simulator. And the funniest thing is, while the memes are gold that comes from this man, he might actually be right. The Yandere Simulator fans and haters, just because of how it gets under his skin alone, have developed such a crazy powerful influence over the man. It's sad. There are compilation videos on YouTube of Yandere Dev has mental breakdowns on stream. Normal people don't have that kind of, you know, compilation. I'm sure a YouTuber of his size should have compilations. I guess it makes sense. There are compilations of me, saying JoJo memes and pronouncing Furumeto Alchemist Prezudo correctly. But when there's compilations, it's usually, compilations of memes, compilations of gamers getting scared by video games. I mean, compilations of mental breakdowns. That's the legacy you're setting for yourself, dude. It's amazing. And the fact that this guy has like 4 billion update videos, every single one updating a different aspect of his tumultuously difficult life due to the shadow haters behind the scenes, attacking his every move. How in every single one of his updates, he always has to give some crazy example and parable as to why he is in fact in the right, and it's all because of the secret haters and even the fans that made his life so insanely difficult and hard to bear. Even all these abundance of messages and clips of him saying absolutely asinine statements and disgusting things, he'll still go ahead and make a video giving you an example of, well, if for example, every single word you've said was on a record where people are always out to get you. Of course, the majority of the things you say are nice and flowery, but there are always a few of those things that are not so nice. What if the haters went and only presented those not nice things? Well, now that I've said it in that way, you probably think of me in an entirely different light. Boom! Changed my opinion of him completely. I think he's actually Jesus now. Completely disregard everything I've said in this video until this point. I love the man, like a brother. Thanks for dispelling all criticism and hate towards yourself with that lovely parable. I think the world now sees you in an entirely different light. I mean, at this point, aside from the fact that you've been working on a game for the last 6 years where you had a full-time income from your Patreon and YouTube channel, doesn't look like you really made much progress and isn't done and probably will never be done. So aside from that potentially massive scam that you've been pulling off, and I'm not saying it's a scam, I'm sure you've been working every single hour of your day, and in fact, Yandere Simulator is probably going to be done by next week. I'm very excited for the full edition. It's going to be great. I mean, who could have possibly predicted something like this? A man who makes a game where you're literally playing as a complete psychopath nutcase is a complete psychopath nutcase. What? That's crazy. Literally, get the pun. That was potentially one of the greatest jokes of all time. I mean, it was no Brock using a trusty frying pan as a drying pan, but it was definitely up there. All in all, though, as a short conclusion to this entire event, which I feel like is very important to state, I feel bad for Yandere Dev. I feel like he was thrust into a position where he was not ready to take that level of burden. His game blew up so quickly just because of how niche and wacky it was with all the big YouTubers playing it, and it immediately catapulted him into this vault of fame that he didn't actually slowly build himself up to get to, and the mental stress of all of a sudden having millions of eyes on you overnight is something almost no one has to actually deal with, let alone that it's pretty clear by his interactions, the way that his haters get under his skin, that he has to make consistent and constant update videos to tell haters to please not hate, which, as I know from personal experience, only, generates way more hate than you were getting before. All of a sudden, he was getting a ton of money to start working on a game that he made as a passion project while he was spending his days watching anime and playing video games. The code that he actually used to actually write his game is pretty much incompatible with every other programmer, since he used all these convoluted shortcut methods to actually get what he was trying to do. So at this point, other programmers can barely even help the guy. Someone's so caught up in his own head where he blew up so quickly, he can't possibly fathom the idea that someone like him, who's never actually had to work to get in the spotlight the normal way, can actually be wrong. So he has to come up with all these really wacky, condescending messages and allegories as to why he is in fact the king of the universe and potentially the reincarnation of Jesus Christ. And the funniest thing of this whole thing is, being that it's so clear that he's actually wrong in so many of these scenarios that he's trying to play off that he's actually in the right, him defending himself and his actual fans defending himself are two entirely different defenses. He comes up with this whole wacky, zany reasoning as to why he's actually in the right all along, and the haters are the emissaries of the Satan trying to stop the Messiah that he's trying to bring, and his fans are like, bruh, he doesn't actually mean that, because they know that's pretty kooky. Him telling a fan to kill themselves on stream can't justify that with, well, he actually deserved it. Like, that doesn't work. No. But the fans, they defend it with like, gotta give him a break, man. He has mental health issues. And unfortunately, while that very well may be true, it's not a justifying factor, and it's something that he definitely needs to work on. He needs to work on maybe talking to a therapist, maybe coming clean with the people that are actually watching him about the fact that his game, it's not out yet. I genuinely worry about this guy. It started off as just me researching different ways to meme and laugh at this toxicity, but I'm scared for this person, Yandere Dev. Everything that I said is public information, though. And there are tons of people that made videos on him already. So I just wanted to have a fun time laughing at the whole toxicity aspect, being that that's probably my favorite non-collaboration series on my channel. Just laughing at different toxic enclaves of groups on the internet, and especially when it comes to anime. So here you got an anime fan, total weeb. You know, the type of weeb that actually likes yanderes in anime. Like, that's a special kind of weeb. And all of a sudden, this man was thrusted into a position of extreme power. Power corrupts, fam. And when you already are the degenerate weeb, bruh, whew, that's gonna create one toxic doggy. Lesson learned, don't give weebs power, and that includes myself. Definitely like and subscribe for future amazing videos laughing at different toxic fandoms or whatever the hell I'm doing, but don't actually give me enough power that anything I could say can hold any validity, or that will be a dark day for humanity. Thank you all. Hope you appreciated it. You know, a couple of truth bombs. This video isn't designed to send anyone hate. It's just a video designed where we can make our days better by laughing from the sidelines. Please leave a like on this video. That would be very appreciated. Let me know other toxic little groups and fandoms and whatevers you want me to cover in the comments below. Have yourselves the most wonderful evening, and remember to stay weird, fam.